Hello, welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. Big weekend of racing coming up. We have this show dedicated to the Arkansas Derby at Oaklawn Park, March 29th. We're finally in the mid stretch here for Derby 151. We're well into the second week of the 100 point prep races. Just a quick recap on last week's racing, which was pretty wild days indeed. The Jeff Ruby really actually didn't surprise me. Sort of after rewatching it, seeing Final Gambit blow by him down the stretch, because as you saw in the preview video, if you watched it, we showed the same video in a similar fashion. He closed a score in a maiden event, so he was just by not this time, which is probably the top sire of this year's Derby crop. So per Brad Cox, he was just kind of immature in his early stages, so they had to bring him along slowly. But he's now seemed to be blossoming into a really nice looking colt. So Jeff Ruby's definitely produced a few high level finishers in the Kentucky Derby, including that bomb Rich Strike several years ago. Two Phils was really good. So there are some horses out there that take the synthetic trail to get to the Derby and can come through. So that race was a fun one, but the Fairgrounds was a drag strip last Saturday on all the dirt races. Basically, they were so fast. 9.5 furlongs, longest of the preps, and a long stretch drive. And they got John Hancock out front, which I thought, but he was Yinzer and Furio were pressuring him hard, pressured him into a sub 24 opening quarter, sub 47 half mile. So when they made that turn for home, Built was in position like he normally would be, took to the lead, but was forced to probably move a little sooner than they wanted to, and he just couldn't sustain the drive down the stretch. Tistastic, definitely a fine horse. By Tis the Law. Congrats to Steve Asmussen for getting this horse across the finish line. The horse looks like he can run all day. He's not real fast, but he can definitely grind you down. So no one actually picked the winner in either race to win the Derby Glass, but that's okay. We're going to give them away anyway. Later in the show, we're going to spin the wheel. I put all the commenters in the pot, and we'll spin the big wheel 2 times for 2 Derby glasses, and we'll award those. So stick around. We'll do that in just a little bit. But don't forget to comment with your winner of this race and the Florida Derby preview that's already out. So we're going to get after this race right now. Make sure you're subbed to the channel, smashing that like. Let's get it. Okay, we're going a mile and an eighth on the Oak Lawn Dirt. Post time is 7:48 Eastern Standard Time. So it's a late post time for race number 13. Now, we'll start with you can see the top in prime power, Sandman, Speed King, and we will definitely discuss Cornucopion. So Brereton's Baytown is the number one horse, probably not going to have too much interest. 30-1, 3-year-old colt trained by Paul McKenty, and won 2 of his last 3, but versus lesser fields. Made the step up to the Rebel and finished 8th here, and was just never really in it. So I'm going to take a pass on that one. I don't think he's ready for prime time yet. First Division is Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez. They keep mounting up, trying to get one of these Derby contenders across, and this one's another one. The maiden optional claiming win, then jumped to the optional claiming 150, third place, jumped to 200 N1X, and got beat by a head. Almost got there, going a mile and the 16th. Interesting stretch out right here for the Omaha Beach, right at about the average win distance for this limit. So an interesting one, I'd say, an underneath value play, a closer. Closers could be handled because it's probably going to be a pretty hotly contested pace. So Kenny McPeak, first division, is one. Now, I will say this: he was closing down the stretch, and it was between him and Best Friend Rocket, but Best Friend Rocket got squeezed, re-engaged, and he pushed ahead by a neck. So that's where this finish happened. Best Friend Rocket outdueled him in the stretch. Really close race though. So First division, not too bad, but I think I might like Best Friend Rocket a little bit better. We'll get to him in a second. Publisher is Steve Asmussen and Flavian Pratt. Turning the blinkers on, that's important. I think that'll make a difference. The Southwest, he was no factor. Really bobbled, jammed, and then that was the one I believe I pointed it out pre Rebel that the American Promise got in his way, and and then slid over in front of him. So he was basically out of the race then. But the Rebel, he came back, and you can see he closed to fourth. He was behind Sandman closing in a similar fashion. So another little stretch out. This one is American Pharaoh Colt, and he's got 7.5 average win distance, which is suggests the distance will be fine. A nice 5 furlong workout on March 16th. I always like the one before being sharp workout, and then the next one's a maintenance. So that's a good sign as well. And whenever you got Flavian Pratt aboard, he's probably going to take more money than he should, but hopefully he'll get some value with Baffert's horse in there and the return of Cole Battle, which everybody will once again doubt, as we'll get to him in a minute. But let's talk about that best buddy Rocket here. Best friend Rocket is Dwayne Lucas. He took over the training duties from Brittany Russell right at the end of the year last year. So he's had him all of 2025. He sends him right out to an OC 200K in 1X and gets it done by a head. We just discussed that race. He outdueled uh, First Division in that one. And it was a gutsy performance because he was the one in the middle getting squeezed and he could have yielded, but he pushed through. So good job by Nick Juarez pushing him forward. He'll get the mount once again. I mean, he's not a prolific winner, but he wins his share. So Best Friend Rocket's kind of an interesting look by curling. So you know he's got some chops. Uh, the next one is obviously Speed King. And this one was Ron Marquette, Rafael Bejarano. Uh, 15 to 1 morning line, crushed it. Nearly took it to the house in the springboard mile, and then and absolutely rolled them wire to wire in the Southwest right here, running some really fast fractions. Got a 92 speed rating. That was the race that Sandman almost fell down out of the gate and got a horrible start, but he came all the way back and almost and got that within a length of the lead. Tis Tastic was third in that race, and you saw he just won. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And this was a complete bounce, in my opinion. He came back uh, right about a month later and just was never engaged. He brushed at the eighth pole. He was just empty when they hit the stretch. And so we'll give him one more chance to prove us wrong, but he's probably not one with other speed front runners to be the one to outlast him. But he does have a nice workout on March 20th. A couple of bullets actually, 59. So he's working them hard. So we'll see if he can get 6.3 average win distance is a little bit light for 9 furlongs, but we'll see what he's got. That brings us to the Sandman, Mark Casse, and we're going to get Jose Ortiz aboard on this one. Torres, who I'm not really a big fan of, rode him for the first few Southwest and a Rebel, and second and third place finishes respectively. But maybe our dude Jose, who's probably one of the highest jockeys in the entire country, can get him going. He was moving on the turn and closing well, easily passing most, but too far back to catch Cole Battle in that Rebel. He's by Tappet, so he's got the chops. He kind of reminds me of Tappet Trice, and his style makes him more pace dependent. But maybe he's better than most in here, and he can prove to be a more versatile type runner instead of needing a super fast pace. Because like he did down here when he didn't have the pace, he ran him down going 125 here, and so hopefully that'll be his way to go there. Monet's Magic, probably a pass on the 21 long shot. Finished fifth in the Rebel, though. He was inside, but he just had no kick. Nice pedigree by Good Magic, but in over his head here. So that one is going to be a pass for me. Now, let's do the drawing for the contest. Spin that wheel, big dog. Congratulations to Hello Sully and JWCFB. Email me at BILLYAH35 at yahoo.com to claim your prize. BillyAH35 at yahoo.com. I'll leave that email in the description. It'll be up to you to contact me. So send your address. And I will say this as a caveat: if you're outside of the country or the continent, then there may be a problem with shipping. So we'll get on to the juicy portion of the show now, and that's going to be Coal Battle. I mean, what's he done wrong except for beat everybody they put in front of him over the last several months, starting with the Jean Lafitte, and then the Springboard Mile was the big eye opener when Speed King was cruising down the stretch and Cold Battle came and got him. He was my value play at almost 7-1 in that race, so that was a really nice hit for me there. I just had win and place money on him there, but Smarty Jones after that, I kind of doubted him. I liked other horses, but he won, and Kale's Angel came back and won the third place finisher there, but he won convincingly by 4. So he rolled in that one. And then the Rebel, much the same, stalked the pace, hotly contested, plus 16 to open. That's fast, 22 and 2. I believe that was Madaket Road setting those fractions, and the Madaket Road couldn't hold off Cold Battle. But Madaket Road kept on. I mean, he was going. So Cold Battle had to kick on the accelerator there, and Vargas got him up. So this is where it's going to get dicey. I'll tell you that. It's average win distance 6.5, sired by Cold Front. So 9 furlongs, and I'd say 10 furlongs is going to be a bit too much of a stretch because the dam sire is 6.6, so there's not a lot on the other side either that would suggest that he's going to get this distance. And I think that's why I might have shied away from him after the Cole or after the Springboard Mile, but still a mile and a 16th, 6.5 is still well within that threshold. So 100% trainer in graded stakes. He's 1 for 1. Lonnie Briley, get it done. But he'll still be competitive, but I think he might fall a little short this time around with the added furlong, or added half furlong, I should say. Anyway, 9 furlong race, right? Now here's the one we wanted to talk about. Bab Banford. Johnny V gets the mount. So 100 maiden breaker. I think I trust Brisnet speed figure. They gave him 102 buyer, which is really pretty extraordinary for a debut horse. And I think maybe somebody over at running Andy Byers stuff was a little bit too happy about that performance, bumping him up to a 102 like that. Because normally Buyer figures are below Brisnet figures. Like 100 Brisnet would mean like a 97 Buyer or even a 95 Buyer, and that's over a huge sample size. So we're familiar with the Into Mischief 3-year-olds that are very good this year, and Baffert's. This one is also just a little bit more. The damn magical world is by Distorted Humor, and that is half brother to millionaire multiple grade 1 winner Guarana, if you remember that horse. So 7-5 morning line, pretty ludicrous for a second time starter in a major prep race. He's got the talent. I mean, he could definitely mop the floor if the pace is right. Now he could be facing a ton of pressure, and that's what we're going to do is talk about that right now. So I'm not sure if I'm going to take. I'm not taking the Baffert horse to win at those odds. I do think he'll factor, and he can win if the pace is right. if he gets like a plus 10, if you saw how fast, like a plus 16 was 22-second opening quarter. So if he could get like a plus 10 where it's like 23 and 3/5 or something like that, and then maybe a 47 and change half mile, he's going to be hard to handle down the stretch because he can get the distance with the pedigree. But I don't know if he's ready for that jump just yet. A lot of these horses have proven it. Gambit proved it. Disruptor is going to have a chance to prove it for Todd Pletcher in the Florida Derby. He's a lightly raced, but blew him out in the maiden wins. So anyway, I am not going to doubt. Well, I guess I technically am, but people will doubt Cole Battle. So he's going to be a value play if you want to stick with him. But I explained my case against earlier, but he has answered the bell. But he might be able to still go a little further for 9. 10's going to be a huge ask. But to me, it boils down to Sandman and Publisher. Jose Ortiz getting them out on Sandman tips the scales in his favor for me. If he's going to get a little quicker underway and maybe be a little closer to the pace when they hit that turn for home, he can run them down for sure. Uh, got Speed King, best friend Rocket, applying pressure to Cornucopian, who I think Baffert's going to want to push out to the lead. We'll see what he does with him, though. And a Publisher putting the blinkers on is a plus. So I like that too. Pratt is getting his second mount, which is going to be a little more familiarity. Maybe he'll know what to do, what he did wrong last time. So Cole Battle will be in there as well. But like pace is going to have to matter. But the Baffert horse could lay waste to the field for all we know. So it's Sandman, it's Publisher, it's Cornucopian, it's Cole Battle, and Best Friend Rocket. I think it's interesting too. So that'll do it for the show. I really appreciate you joining me. Thanks for all the support. Keep subscribing to the channel because we're still pushing for 3,000 subscribers. And there might even be a very special giveaway once we hit that marker. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and like on your way out. We'll see you soon.